Hi guys, welcome to Salesforce Group, and in today's video we learn how to create the lightning tree grid in Lightning Web Component. So let's go to our VS Code and start building this. So I'm in my VS Code, my project is already set up. So let's press Command Shift P, or you can go to Command Palette and select an option Create Lightning Web Component, and I'll give the component name tree grid LWC, and I'll take the default path, and my component is created successfully. So the first thing always is to expose your component. So I'll go to the meta file and change is exposed to true, and I'll set some target where I want to expose my component. And the target here is I'm using all the target, basically app page, home page, and record page. Wherever you want, you can use this component. And after that, I'll go to the HTML file, and in HTML file I'll create a lightning card, and I'll give the title lightning tree grid, and I can give the lightning tree grid demo as the title, and my card is ready. And around the card we can give some padding as well. So let's create a div. I'll give a class slds padding around medium, so that we get a 16 pixel around our card. And for time being, I'll just say hello. And now let's deploy this component and place this component to our page. So right click, deploy. Now let's go to our org, and I'm in my org and I'm inside the sales app, and I'm on a home page. So let's place the component on the home page itself. Let's edit the page, and let's search for the component on the left hand side. Our component name is tree grid LWC, and I'll drag it to the top, and I'll hit save, and it's saved. And let's go back and just see whether it's coming properly on the home page or not. So now successfully we have our card component placed on the page. This is our first task: create the component and place the component on the page. Now the second task is to get the data, and to get the data we're going to write a Apex class, a very simple class. So let's go to the VS Code, and again we'll go to Command Palette and select the option Create Apex class, and give the class name account contact, and take the default path. So a class gets created inside our classes folder, and by default it has given us a method, but I'll remove this one and we'll say public static list of account, and our method name is all accounts with contacts. So we are going to return all the accounts with contacts. This is our method, and we have to make this method aura enabled. I'll say aura enabled cacheable true, and inside this we'll write our query, and the query will be very simple. So we'll say return, let's paste it out so it will be easy for you guys to read out. So we are writing a query that returns us the ID, name, phone, website from account, and apart from that it will give the relationship of contact, and from the contact object it returns ID, name, phone, and email. And we are keeping a limit of 5, so it will return only the 5 record, but based on your requirement you can change this limit or you can remove the limit. So our component is ready. Just make sure spellings are correct, and let's deploy this. So our class is ready basically, and once it's deployed successfully we are going to use this class inside our component. So I'll go to the component, that is grid LWC. I'll go to JS file and I'll import that method. So I'll copy the method name. I'll say import method name, use this from, and then I'll give the path Salesforce /apex slash class name first. So the class name is account contact, so account contact dot method name. So our method name is all accounts with contact. So we have imported the method. Now we have to use this method, and to use this we need to use wire adapter. So we'll use wire, and here we'll say at wire, we'll pass the method name, and the method name, let's copy from here itself, and we'll use wire as a function so that we can able to view the result that is coming. So I'll give my function name counts with contacts result. This is my method name. You can give any name to your function basically, and it will return data or error, and we'll print it out. We'll say if data is there, print the data, and if error is there, print that error in the console. So error console.error I'm using, and now we have integrated our apex method with inside our component, and now this is our second step in the approach. First step was to create a component and place that component inside our page. Now the second step is to write apex class, integrate that method inside our LWC component and fetch the data, and this console will confirm us whether we are getting the data or not. So let's deploy this now. So it's deployed. Let's go back and right click, open the inspect, go to console. I can zoom out a little bit. I'll clear the console and refresh the page, and now in the console you can see that it's returning us 5 data, and each data record has ID, name, phone, website, and the contacts, and contacts further has the details account ID, email ID, name, and phone. So we are getting this data. So let's use this data to build the lightning grid. So let's go to our VS Code. Let's go inside the HTML, and let's create the lightning grid here. So tree grid, so we'll call lightning tree grid, and we have to pass few properties. First is columns, and we'll pass that something here. Then the second property, we need to pass the data. We'll pass something here, and the important property is key field, which is your primary field basically. That will say the name properties are primary field, and I'll close that out. And now let's map that one by one. So first we need the columns. Let's say columns, and for column we'll create a property create column, and it's an array of object. We'll say and we'll create our first object here, but in meantime we'll first map this out here in the columns. The column will receive grid columns, and here it should be, and it need a label, and the label is what you want to show on the screen. I want to show on the screen label as name. Then this label will map to which field? Name, and the field name is the property that you are receiving here. So I'll say a name property here, this key, and then we need the type of this field, and I'll say it's a text field. Likewise, we'll place a couple of more fields. We'll say phone, field name is phone, and let it be text, We have a phone, we have a name, we have a website. Let's place the website one. So let's copy this and we'll say we want to show on the screen website, but on here it's also website, but let's change the label this time. We'll say count website, so it will change the label, and field name is website, and make sure the field name is the exact key name. I'll just make sure the spelling is correct, and the type is URL in this case, and you can add the type attributes here. That help you to tell, okay, on click of this URL, open the URL in the same page or the other page. All the other properties you can mention here, the classes and all. So I'll say the target will be always a underscore blank, which means always open in the new tab. So we have our type attributes ready, and let's start with this only. So we have given total 3 grid column. Now we need the second property that we need to pass as the data, and data is nothing. This is the data that we want to pass, and let's create a property here. We can say that grid data. So I'll say grid data. I initialize this grid data as empty array, and I'll, once the data is available, I'll say this dot grid data equal to data, and let's map this grid data to our data property. And it's saying it has some common issues on mobile, but we can ignore this right now. So we can say quick fix, ignore SLDS for the file, and let's deploy this now, and let's see whether it's forming any tree for us on the screen or not. It's deployed. Let's go to VS let's go to org and refresh the page. I'll just minimize this, and now if you looked at that, it's creating a similar look and feel like data table, but there is no expandable option here, and checkboxes are there, but I don't want checkbox. So let's hide the checkbox by passing one property. So in the tree grid, you can hide the checkbox simply by saying hide checkbox column, and let's deploy this, and let's refresh the page again. And now you can see that the checkbox is not coming, but what our problem statement is, I want to show the all account record, and there should be an arrow icon. On click of that, it should expand and show me the contacts. For that, we need to structure the data in a particular format with a property called underscore children. So let's go and see how we can do that. So let's go to the JS file, and here right now we are just mapping the data that is coming as it is. So I'll cut this option and create a method called this dot format grid data. You can write inside as well, but I love to write my logic on the separate methods, and I'll create a method here, and I'll give this name format grid data. It will receive the result, and we are passing the data from here, and we are receiving in the property result here. And I'll say run the loop on the result that has come. I'm running the map because I'm transforming the data basically, and each item, if we looked at our console, each record basically is an item in our loop case. So here each record has the context, so we have to map the context as a children in this case. So we'll say const, and we'll say take the context from the item. So this is called object destructuring, and apart from context we are using a rest operator. So we are saying whatever it left, it's the accounts property. So context will be extracted separately, and rest of the property will consider as a accounts. So we are doing this shortcut here, and then we are returning by saying return all the accounts as it is, and add a new property after that as underscore children, and map whatever is inside the contact to a children property. And once it return, show that data in the this dot grid data, and we can console this grid data just to visualize the data, the type of data it's forming. So I'll console this out. I'll say console.log this dot grid data, and let's deploy this and see how it looks. Parent-child relationship. I have seen many blogs, people have written the delete property, delete the object. I never manipulate with the data directly. I'll just create always a new copy of the data. That's the reason of using this rest operator and the object destructuring. These are so clean and shortcut. And it's deployed. Let's go and refresh the page. And now it's refreshed. Now you can see immediately an arrow icon is coming. And if we click on this, you will see the contact records mapped automatically. If contact has a name property, it will map here automatically. If contact has a phone, it will map automatically. Let's open the console and let's open the object that we printed in the console just to visualize it better. So I'll go to the first record and look at the contacts, and in the contacts you can see that we already have a properties name and phone, but we don't have a website. That's why the website site is empty. So like this you can create as many parent-child relationship. If you want further down any relationship, you can go back and create a further children property inside the contacts, and I can show that as well quickly with the hard-coded data because I don't have any query to go third nested. So let's go and add some data here. So suppose I have some dummy data here, so I'll create a property here, dummy data, but you can use the real data for third level, and I put some name, email and website, and I want this dummy data to go as a child of contacts. So what we can do is we can run the loop on the contacts here, and to run that we'll say const updated contact equal to we'll run the loop on contacts, and we are doing the map because we are doing the transformation, and I'll say each property is contact or each basically record, and I'll say whatever is inside the record keep as it is and store a children, and that children is going to be this dot dummy data. But if you have the data you can map that, and I'll take this updated contact and map it here. So now it will be 2-level children. So let's deploy and see first. So I'll deploy this. This is just a demo that I'm showing you. You can create as many nested level you want. So it's deployed. Let's refresh the page. So now it's rendered. Let's open the first level. Pretty slow. Yeah, it's opening, and let's go to the next level because it has a next level. That's why this contact is showing us the arrow icon, and if I open that, it's showing that dummy data that we pass Salesforce and true, and in that I pass the website, so it's showing us the website as well. So likewise you can go as many level as you want. And one more thing, I just want to show you what kind of data is showing now after transformation. So I'll open one record. It has children, that is at first level where we mapped our contacts. If I open this children and go to the first record, this record further has a children, and these children is nothing, it's our dummy data Salesforce and group. Likewise you can just add the children property and map your data, and you can create a beautiful lightning tree grid. There are other properties you can play around with it, like grid rows, grid expanded rows. You want to keep some rows expanded on the load, or you just want to close some rows on an action. You can perform all these things in the tree grid. There are many places where you want checkboxes and you want to know which all checkboxes has been selected. Everything you can play around with it, so there is no limitation. Everything you can play easily. So that's it I want to explain in this video. I hope you like this video, and if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Thank you.